Brilliant. Thanks, Kate. So yeah, we're here for an information sharing webinar. If we go on to, I'm Charlotte, so I'm the assistant on Nature Buddies, just to check everyone can hear and see okay. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Fine. If we go on to the next slide. So what we're going to cover today is the purpose of Nature Buddies and what we define nature as for the Nature Buddies project, what a Nature Buddy is and the pathway to getting a Nature Buddy, what training and support is available, the benefits of nature-based activities, the referral pathway. We're going to cover our mental health levels that we've defined for the purpose of the project. And also the roles and responsibilities of the hosts and what support is available to the Nature Buddy network. And we're also going to hopefully, we'll cover the next steps to getting set up, because hopefully everyone's going to be super keen to get set up with Nature Buddies by the end of this webinar. Okay, so next slide. So the overall purpose of Nature Buddies is to provide volunteers to offer one-to-one support to people who need any sort of help to access nature, basically. So we're aiming to gradually increase clients' confidence and their ability to engage with nature. We all know the benefits, hopefully, of being in nature for our well-being. And so these volunteers will be specially trained to support that activity and help people to overcome the barriers that they might be facing in getting out into nature. Next slide, please. So, as we unfortunately know, millions of people struggle with their mental health, and that may be something that people in this webinar have experienced, or somebody close to you may have experienced it. So many of us know the difficulties of struggling with your mental health. We also know that there can be a lot of barriers in getting well and getting access, particularly to nature. Hopefully, everyone here knows a little bit of the healing power of nature and the benefits of being outside for our mental health, and also the barriers that some people can face to accessing that. So that can be a confidence thing, it can be anxiety, lack of transport. It's a huge problem in our area. It can be difficult to find the activities and know what's out there. It can also be daunting, knowing what to wear, having the right kind of equipment. People can be put off if there are forms, or if you need to get in contact with somebody before getting access to an activity. And you can just be fearful of joining new groups, of not knowing anybody. It might be that you're not familiar with an outdoor space, and knowing things like where toilets are or whether there's going to be somewhere that you can sit and rest can be a huge barrier to getting out and enjoying the benefits of nature. And that is where the Nature Buddies come in. They will be there to offer the friendly support that people might need to get out, to let them know what to expect, to hopefully reassure them that they don't need necessarily any special equipment or anything like that, to help them if they do need to find access to transport, and just bridging the gap between that all-important referral to a nature-based activity and getting the actual physical first step out into nature and joining a group or a task, or just taking a walk or going out into their garden and getting the most of those benefits. Next slide, please. Oh, we have a little video here. Hopefully the sound will work straight away. If not, we might just have to restart.
Millions of people are affected by loneliness, social isolation, and anxiety. A buddy is a volunteer that helps someone overcome the barriers they faced in life. They help build people's confidence to take part in activities and groups and become more independent. Connecting with nature can provide lasting benefits for our physical and mental health. and reduce the strain on health and social services. A nature buddy is a specially trained volunteer who provides support one-to-one or as part of a small group to empower a person to get outside, explore natural spaces and connect to nature. Once connected with nature, people can experience reduced anxiety levels, increased happiness, greater life satisfaction and a sense of purpose. Nature buddies also benefit the natural world, building support for a sustainable environment and healthy communities. And the volunteers benefit too, with the opportunity to develop their skills and find a sense of fulfilment. Find out more about Nature Buddies at socialprescribingacademy.org.uk/Nature Buddies.
Okay, so this might seem like a silly question, but what do we call nature? We have a particular definition of nature at the Dorset National Landscape. So we're talking about everything in the natural world, but we're also including the heritage that shapes our connection to it. So that includes all of the plants, animals, green and blue spaces that you would expect, but then also historic places and archaeology, and also like the folklore and the traditions, stories and memories that shape the places around us, and that we share as communities. That's all part of nature for us. And the benefits of nature activities. So hopefully we've all experienced getting out in nature and what that does for us as human beings. And we have a kind of grasp of all of these benefits. But, you know, we know that it improves our mental well-being. We know it gives us meaning and purpose. We know it gives us a greater connection to our sense of place and our community. It helps us reduce our isolation and loneliness. It helps with feelings of belonging, and then also, you know, our brain health, our vitality, our happiness. It can help us manage long-term conditions and boost our immune systems. It can even reduce the risk of chronic diseases. So there's so many benefits to getting out in nature, and it's only fair that everybody has equal access to that and those benefits. So what a nature buddy can do, it depends on the organisation that the nature buddy is linked to, but they're able to provide regular support to help people get out and walk or visit their local green spaces or parks. They're there to help encourage people who would not normally be engaging with those outdoor environments. It could be that somebody's never really connected with or engaged with nature in the past. It might be that they've had a really good relationship with nature, but for whatever reason, they've fallen out of that habit. They're able to, excuse me, one second, I'm just going to mute so that I can. Sorry, you don't want to hear that. They're able to work with the person on the activity that they would particularly like to do and to give that kind of bespoke support. So they're paying particular attention to their likes and dislikes, what they might have been into in the past, and they're able to tailor their activity to suit that person. And then overarching all of that, they're aware of the key benefits of being outdoors, and they're able to kind of reiterate that to the person so that they're fully aware of the good that it's doing for them. Next slide, please. And it is important to remember those boundaries. So nature buddies do not provide any kind of personal care. They are not therapists or counsellors. They don't meet at non-agreed times. So although it will be a very friendly relationship, it's not a friendship. They're not expected to provide any sort of transport. However, if that was something that was agreed, you know, with an organisation, that they can be open to that, but they're not a driver. They're not expected to be an expert in nature. They're not going to be pointing out and giving the Latin names for all the different plants or anything like that. And they're not providing any sort of personal care. They're just a friendly person who wants to support somebody to engage with nature, basically. So there are a few different pathways to having a nature buddy or being a nature buddy. You can be linked to an organisation that offers nature-based activities. So, for example, we have a group of nature buddies that are in place at Upton Country Park in Poole. That volunteer can help somebody to access that particular venue or site, or access a particular activity that's run by that organisation. They could also have a nature buddy that accompanies somebody at home. So goes to that person's home and helps them to access nature more locally on their doorstep. And then also somebody who actually visits someone at their home and helps them get out into their garden, for example, or access their greenhouse, do some tasks just connecting with nature even more locally to their home. So for recruiting volunteers, so the team will help you to develop the Nature Buddies model and tell you more about the role description. We'll be able to support you in figuring out how the initiative fits into your existing volunteer practice. We'll be able to help you develop tailored training packages for your nature buddies. We do have access to extra training and support as well. We'll help you to advertise what you're offering and your activities through our network. We have an activity finder online that we're able to list activities through. We can also identify and help you access additional training. We can provide promotional material and we can create social media campaigns. There is also a small amount of funding to cover some expenses, but that is obviously subject to availability. So we are here as a team to help you feel confident, help your volunteers to feel confident and informed and supported in their roles as nature buddies. We will provide all the key details and training and support to help everyone feel safe and well informed. We have a suite of online videos, we have downloadable guides, and they are all available through the Volunteer Centre Dorset. And then we also have some optional training modules for those who might want to expand their skills. So there's various topics, including those listed on the screen. So diversity and inclusion, there's nature connection, befriending, and dementia awareness. And we will be adding new modules. And if people have suggestions of things that they would like to be added, then they're very welcome to let us know if there's something missing or something you would like to know more about. Okay, so I'm going to hand over now to Volunteer Centre Dorset and Can. Thank you very much for listening.
Hi everyone, shall I go first?
Oh, thank you.
So we're Volunteer Centre Dorset. So we've been working alongside Dorset National Landscape to build and promote the nature buddies which are within the community. So outside of the hosted organisation, Nature Buddies, we've been studies from home. And so just going to talk really, really briefly about how maybe we can support you additionally on top of the support that you'd already be getting with the online training and support that you were getting from the National Landscape. So we could additionally help with if you're hoping to host nature buddies and are looking to recruit people within that role and not sort of look on your on the pool of people that you already have already supporting your organisation. We're really happy to help you recruit volunteers. So in addition to the help that you'd be getting from the Nature Buddies project, we've got our own platform that we can
recruit on as well, and share as well on social media and things like that. We're also really happy to help with any questions you might have about policy or procedure, in addition as well to the support that you're already getting. So really happy to help with any of that. We additionally have lots of free training for staff and volunteers. So if you've got staff and volunteers who would benefit from online or in-person training, and you support people, or you're based within Dorset Council area, we can help you with there's all sorts. There's training on safeguarding, and funding and marketing and comms. So what I might do is just drop a link to our training in the chat so that anyone can access that and have a look if they would like to, as well. And additional to the Nature Buddies network, we also have a few networks across the Dorset Council area. So if you are based in Dorset Council area, or you support people within Dorset Council area, you're really welcome to come along to these networks. They're a really good space to get some peer-to-peer support, meet like-minded people who are doing a similar thing to you, and yeah, just sort of chat to other people who are kind of going through the same thing. So any questions at all, please get in touch, and I'll drop a couple of links into the chat as well.
Oh, hi, I'm Martin from Community Action Network. Apologies, our head of volunteering, Amy Collins, wasn't able to make it today, so I was just here in her place. So Community Action Network, we're an umbrella infrastructure charity. We support lots of community groups, non-profits, but really our main focus is volunteering. So it's really the recruitment of volunteers, good practice, and volunteer management. And on our site, cam100.org, we've got a really helpful hub listing all the opportunities available. And we do mainly operate within the BCP area, so it's very much alongside the other group. And also just within my role, I'm a community connector. So we have other projects going. I've already met the team here at some networking events, been very excited to hear about what's been happening, and obviously part of CAN and myself doing our best to spread the word about this venture, and certainly see how it could do a lot of help. So yeah, really us with the management support of volunteers, and then also our outreach to the community. So thank you.
Oh, that's lovely. Thanks ever so much, Charlotte, Helen, Martin. That's brilliant. Really useful. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on with the presentation now, and just have a talk you through a little bit the referral pathway. So who you might be getting referred onto your activities, that type of thing. So firstly, just to say that Nature Buddies is for adults. So it's anybody who's aged 18 or over, and as Charlotte mentioned, is currently facing those barriers to getting outside and accessing and enjoying nature for their well-being. So it could be anybody who's suffering from some low self-esteem, for example, maybe anxiety, feeling isolated, or they might have compromised mobility even. And they want to get out and they want to take those active steps to improve their well-being, and engage with nature, and be sociable and try some new things. Referrals are coming in through different pathways. So it could be a professional referral. So it could be a GP, a social prescriber, the community mental health team, or any other professionals. Lots of our activities are accepting self-referrals, or it could be that a family member makes that referral for somebody as well with their consent. And a little bit now around just that process from kind of the start to finish, from setting up to getting that referral in. So it tends to start with the host organisation and volunteers undertaking their training and induction, joining the network. And then coming up with an advert. We've got our own online activity finder, and we pop an advert on there which just goes through what the activity is all about, time, date, place, etc. And I'll show you that shortly in another slide. The referrals come in, and that would go direct to the organisation. So, for example, Upton Country Park, who've got nature buddies, the referrals go directly to them. They'll take a look at that referral and have a chat with the person who's contacted them, and then hopefully be able to link those up, that person up with a suitable nature buddy who they've got working with them. Then the nature buddy and the partner will carry out some sessions together, and that'll be an agreed number of sessions, so it's not kind of unlimited. So we're tending to find it's around 4 to 6 sessions with the nature buddy, and then after that it's reviewed, and hopefully either that person will want to start coming along to that activity independently and the nature buddy will go on to support somebody else, or it might be they want to carry on with the nature buddy for a few more sessions, or they feel confident enough to try and go somewhere else and do a different activity even. So just to make sure that we keep everybody safe on the activities, when we're asking you to come up with your advert and design your scheme, we've got some mental health levels that you can take a look at and kind of identify where your organisation could best support somebody coming along to an activity. And we've got these, we did a small pilot a few years ago, and we worked with Nottingham CVS, and these mental health levels were designed around that, and they've been working really well. And so we go from level 0 to 4, and 0 to 2 are kind of those lower level needs. So somebody who's just kind of independently thought, I want to improve my well-being, to somebody who's gone off to their GP, and the GP said actually you might benefit from getting out into nature, or they might be receiving kind of medication or therapy from their GP, and again alongside that help with nature. Or it could be somebody who's got a more complex need, and that's absolutely fine to come along to an activity. They might just need to bring a support worker alongside them as well. So one of the key things with nature buddies we're finding is that it's really important to manage expectations, though, and it's a few things are that the support from a nature buddy might really be dependent on if there's any available volunteers in that area. They're probably more likely to receive support if they needed that helping hand to join an existing activity. If it was something kind of more personalised or of longer duration, then it would really need to fit the criteria of that organisation in advance. And again, just to reiterate what Charlotte said, really, that those nature buddies aren't nature experts or therapists or caregivers or drivers. They're just helping hand to get somebody out into nature and do that activity alongside them. So if you were to become a nature buddy host, there's just a few bits and pieces here about what our team would need from you, just in terms of who we can signpost to your organisation. You would be responsible for your volunteers. So the nature buddy, we're finding, tends to be not necessarily a new volunteer into your organisation, but an existing volunteer who wants to do the role as an add-on, because it kind of fits really nicely alongside what they're already doing, and is just kind of an additional thing they can offer. So they would come under your own volunteering policies and procedures. We'd link in with you to get some evaluation and feedback, just to make sure that we can, if there's anything that isn't working very well, we can tweak it and we can help support you in that way. But also we are being independently evaluated with this project. So that will all feed into the evaluation as well. And then in terms of the comms and promotions to getting referrals in, then yeah, we'll do some shared comms and promotions as well. And we can support you with that. As a network, we're growing the network, so we're supporting recruiting other organisations into this growing network, supporting the recruitment of volunteers and getting the referrals in. As mentioned before, so Volunteer Centre Dorset and can really help with that. We are arranging some networking meetings and information sharing events so that we can get hosts and nature buddies together, talk about and share their experiences, and discuss what's worked and what hasn't worked so well, and just have that kind of that peer-to-peer support from each other. We can also offer, we've got a small pot of money available for some financial support. So if there's anything from stopping you setting up a scheme, then do talk to us. It is a limited fund, it is a small fund, but do talk to us if that's the case. If it's a piece of equipment or something administrative, for example, then yeah, chat to us around that. And we're also coordinating training opportunities for volunteers. We've got that training package that Charlotte touched on. We've got lots of resources for our nature buddies as well, just to help them in their role, from a whole little bag of goodies, from spotter sheets to places to go, online resources, that type of thing. And it's really our role as well to really push that communication and promote the scheme and get the word out there. So as I mentioned earlier, we've got our own activity finder on our website. The activities are also listed on other platforms. So I know that they're listed on the CAN platform as well, Help and Kindness, so that we can get referrals in and spread the word and get a wide range of people onto our activities, and linked in with Nature Buddies. This is just a kind of a run through of what it looks like. If you go onto the website, you'll see this page, the activity finder, and it'll take you through a little snapshot of all the activities we've got on offer at the moment. So as you can see, we've got the National Trust, we've got BMI Farm in Shillingstone, Upton Country Park, and a few others if you carry on scrolling. And within that sits the more detailed advert, which tells you a little bit about what you can expect to do when you get on site, and then when, where, the accessibility information, that type of thing, and if it accepts self-referral or not. And that's all to help somebody, be able to find a suitable activity for them. Will that work for me? Will it be the right level of support? Is it in the right area, etc., etc.? And then the contact details of the organisation are in there, and they're linking directly with the organisation. Just a little short video now, just to show you. This is Jenny from Upton Country Park, just about their Nature Buddies scheme.
I'm Jenny. I am the Community Engagement and
Can you see that okay? Can you give a quick thumbs up if you can? Yeah, great.
Learning Officer here at Upton Country Park. The park is a brilliant place. It's got 160 acres of lots of different habitats, from woodland to parkland to formal gardens, wildflower meadows, lots of different things. And we've got a lovely team of volunteers that work with us here at the park. Some of them do conservation and gardening tasks, and that happens 5 days a week. We have volunteers that help in our welcome centre. We've got the Friends of Upton Country Park who help run our kiosk and raise funds, and lots of other things as well with research volunteers. We've got lots of different things to get involved in. We decided to take part in the Nature Buddies programme because we've got lots of lovely, wonderful volunteers on site that were keen to get as many more people as we can onto and visit this great place. It's really accessible. It's very close to the urban centre of Poole and all of the surrounding areas. It's been really great to work with Dorset National Landscape team and get everything going. They've been great at talking us through everything, giving our volunteers the training that they need to be able to work with people that will get referred. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really rewarding project.
So hopefully that just kind of brings it to life a little bit more. And if you are keen on getting involved, this is kind of the little pathway through. So it starts with kind of your own offer, and we can help you with that and setting up what you think it would look like for you. We'll have that initial conversation with you, find out a little bit more about your scheme and how Nature Buddies can fit within that, and what your vision is, what your resources are available. We'll then work with you to get your volunteers ready, do that recruitment and training, and the induction for yourselves and your volunteers, existing or new. And then it'll be a case of that ongoing support, getting your activity out there, promoting it, and getting participants on. And then we'll continue to support you with shared learning opportunities, the networking events, promotion and comms, etc. We do have some resources that we thought we'd just quickly mention. So we've got our own National Landscape website with lots and lots of Nature Buddies information on there, whether you're an organisation, whether you want to volunteer, or whether you want to make a referral. We've got our brand new online platform, which is called Always Out, which has got lots and lots of resources, ideas to get out into nature or to enjoy nature from home. There's taster activities, webcams, podcasts, lots and lots of information on there. And we've also got lots of places to inspire you to get out into the Dorset National Landscape as well. And we'll share these links with you afterwards. There's also a Nature Buddies toolkit that's been put together with ourselves, Natural England, NASP and some other organisations. And again, that's a really nice kind of step-by-step guide to setting up a Nature Buddies scheme. Talks you through it, lots of case studies and examples. And just to finish really, we always say that access to nature is the first step, but it's a little bit like opening the door to a party. So walking into a room full of strangers can be really daunting, especially if you don't know anyone. And that Nature Buddy just gives you the help to get over the threshold and give you the confidence to dance. And that is it. So I will stop sharing there. Pass back over to the team for more questions, if there's any questions.
Thanks, Kate, Charlotte, and the other presenters as well. That was fantastic and gives everybody hopefully a really good flavour of what Nature Buddies is all about and how you can engage and be involved. But really, it's over to you guys now. So we've got 20 minutes. We're going to have a kind of question and answer session. Feel free to, probably the safest way to do it is if you put your hands up with the raise hand option at the top of your screens, and then we can sort of keep it to some sort of order. And yeah, so over to you. Fire away with any questions. If it's easier for you, then do write them in the chat and we'll try and monitor those, but ideally put your hand up. And Barbara, over to you.
Yes, hello. I'm on the West Parley Parish Council, and we have a well-established volunteer group, about 20 to 25 people across a wide age range, some with disabilities. We meet twice a week. We actually gain quite a few new people to the group because they see us actually working and they come along. And I don't know how, as a nature buddy, we would work. How would it enable us to be promoted more so that, you know, more people would hear about us and come along? I'm not sure what role being a nature buddy would help us in our established volunteer group.
Thanks, Barbara. It's a good question, and I think Jules is going to be able to answer that one.
Yeah, no, Barbara, that's a really good question. And I think we're trying to work with organisations in a way that fits in with them. So it could be one of your volunteers or two of your volunteers or more. The nature buddy would be that add-on, that bolt-on of their role. So their role would be just being a volunteer, but they would be that friendly face. So, I mean, it's fantastic that you get people joining you when they see you working, but you might have some people that go past and they'd like to join you, but they're not quite sure. So, or it might be somebody that has a social prescriber in the village and she talks about, or they talk about wanting to get out and they're not quite confident and they know you've got a volunteer group. And so what it could do is actually help more people in your local community find you and join you and become more confident in getting out into your local areas. The Nature Buddy volunteer is not, it's not a singular role on its own. It's just an add-on. It's an added-on skill, if you like, for just your volunteers to then be able to be that friendly face to support a person coming along. So it could help in a way that would get more people potentially joining you, and more people that would benefit potentially from joining you who are in the local area. Does that sound?
Contacting the surgeries in the area.
So,
you know,
sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you not?
Yeah. So people. So yeah, so it would be advertised to local. I mean, we would do our best to advertise it to local GPs and social prescribers within that area. And then people could be referred. They can either be referred straight to you, but a lot of our organisations also take self-referrals. So it could be people getting in touch with you directly and just asking if you have anybody that can support them to get out, to come out and join your group. So for you, it would be people coming to join your group as opposed to you going and helping people out in other parts of the countryside. It would be you to facilitate helping people join you.
Right. Okay. Yes. I mean,
Does that make sense?
We are quite a big group now.
Yeah.
And but there's always work to be done, you know, and we've got people who act as leaders on it. And so
yeah,
more people the merrier, really. And we do have a lot of retired who go off to Tenerife at this time of the year. And so we find, you know, sometimes we haven't got as many. But yes, we would welcome anybody that would like to join us and people that we can help. We do know that we've got a lot of people who are isolated who are in our group. And there's a social side to it as well. So
it could be that we come and we could. Well, I think it could work. I think what we could do is that we could come along and speak to you a bit more in detail, and we could speak to your volunteers as a group and see what they think. Yeah, and we're more than happy to do that. So
yeah, okay,
yeah, we can do that.
I will put it to them when we next meet on Tuesday. Yeah,
that's brilliant. And
I was just going to add something to that, to say there's also benefits for the volunteers as well in terms of accessing some of that extra training that you might not have had access to before. So there may be some benefits for the volunteers of becoming nature buddies, if that makes sense, and kind of formalizing what they already do and what they already know, and just adding an extra string to their bow, really, in terms of extra training and support.
Yes, that would be helpful. Yep, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Who else would like to ask or say anything? Charlie?
No questions. You're all up on Nature Buddies. Don't be afraid to ask questions that you think actually that might be a bit sensitive question, but just ask it. We're here to just answer anything.
Barbara, is that an old hand, or did you want to ask?
I was trying to get rid of it.
Okay. I always struggle with that as well.
No, I'm quite happy, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Martin, you get to something.
Hi, the team. I've spoke to the team before. They know I often say things, and I'm very aware you've covered this, but it was just a thought that came to me through the presentation. I remember at Bournemouth University, the late lecturer Dr. Tim Darver, who was quite a senior lecturer there, had some charity initiatives called Human Henge, where they would go around historic sites. I just wondered if there was any scope for sort of connecting with the Department of Archaeology, I was thinking students volunteering, able to, as part of their activities, 18 plus. Forgive me if you've already gone down that road. It was just an idea that came to me as I was going through everything, that could be an option for you. Hope that's okay.
That sounds really good, Martin. And actually, I did go to a presentation around Human Henge, and I did see it. I was when we were, I did a few years ago now, but yes, I did. And it was a fantastic project, absolutely fantastic project. And yes, we would like to do, that would be great if we could have something like that. I think for us, it's, it's having people like you mention that, and then that means that we're thinking about it and finding who we can get in touch with. I suppose for us, it's a nature buddy could fit within many different types of organisations and groups. For us, it's having a host that wants to have nature buddies and volunteers that want to be nature buddies, and then that way we can then work with them, because it's the organisation's initiative. It may be our scheme running the whole thing, but actually, this is trying to set up an initiative that's embedded within organisations as their everyday business as usual, to try and embed it into the system as a route for people to benefit from nature and history and heritage and landscape in different ways. So we're always up for having a chat with whoever to see how we can get it to fit. But that sounds good. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. I'll tap up my archaeology friend and see what he has to say.
Excellent. Thanks, Martin. There's quite a few comments in the chat. I think people are thinking that they want to absorb the information and get back to us, which is absolutely fine and lovely. Thank you for that. Anybody else like to say anything while we're here?
Trevor's typed in the chat saying, as a former community payback officer specialising in conservation work and a former community service worker for social services, he's not seeing an easy route to volunteer as a nature buddy. Can we help with that, Jules?
Yeah, it might not be. I mean, it might be worth a chat, Trevor, at some point if you're not sure but you're keen, potentially outside of this meeting. But it might be that you're not a volunteer as a nature buddy, but it may be that you have you could refer into nature buddies or a host. I'm not quite sure. We do. I mean, this is sort of a general information of Nature Buddies presentation, but the 3 routes in really is that you can be a host for a Nature Buddy where you have volunteers and you can support people with your volunteers as Nature Buddies. You can be a Nature Buddy volunteer that could either join through VCD or an organisation that has them, or you can signpost and refer in for the people that you're supporting who would benefit from a nature buddy. So maybe if it's not one of those 3, maybe we can have a chat and see how it might fit, because we're quite, this is almost like a massive pilot. We're testing things out, so we're quite flexible and we're learning all the time about what's working and what's not working. And so it might be worth to explore that a bit further, Trevor, if you want to. Outside of this, we're more than happy to have a chat.
Yeah, I think that's really true, Julie. Sorry, I've got a funny noise on my headset. I don't know if everybody can hear that or not, but yeah, we haven't really touched on our community nature buddy role, which is more of that kind of one-to-one meeting somebody from home and getting out into nature kind of locally to them, and that's running in the Dorset Council area and coordinated by Volunteer Centre Dorset. So that could potentially be an opportunity. But yeah, it would be great to chat with you a bit more, Trevor, if you're interested.
Brilliant. And that's for everybody. If anybody goes away, digests it, gets the information or the recording and the information from the slides, and you have a question, or you think it would be great to chat a bit more about it, or it'd be great to get us over to talk to your volunteers or your organisations, your team, just, ping us a message over and we can take it from there. There's no wrong question. We can just see what fits with everybody. If it does, it's fantastic. There might be other ways that we can support each other. So
yeah,
absolutely, it's a very flexible model, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're finding. There is no kind of one size fits all with nature buddies. It's really individual. So yeah.
Anybody else? Otherwise, I'm sort of getting the feeling that there was a lot of information. It might take a little while to sort of, absorb it, and you may well come up with questions afterwards or thoughts or, anything that you want to share with us. In which case, Charlotte, thank you. You've got the links and email addresses and so on in the chat. So do feel free to get in touch with us. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, will we be sending links to everybody to the recording? Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. So feel free, obviously, to look back at that at any point if that helps or if that's of interest. But otherwise, unless anybody's got anything else, I think we'll probably give you back 5-10 minutes of your time today. But yeah, thanks very much everyone for taking the time out to join us. I hope you found it useful. I certainly have. I hope you got something out of it, and keep in touch and let us know how, when, and if we can work together in the future. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Brilliant.
much,
Thanks so much,
everybody.
guys.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye. Brilliant.
Shall we
Hold on,
end?
everyone.
Let's press end recording. I think if I press end event, it might kick us all out, but I'm going to press it.
Okay.